Hi everyone, this is Kelly and I'm here to do a walkthrough of the Spirit Cards Oracle deck by John Arthur Mosley, who did both the art and the text for this deck. This is a deck I had pre-ordered. I remember it was right at the beginning of the lockdown, and I think I was not in the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter was already finished. But the decks had not come in yet. I think they were being held up a little bit by the beginning of the COVID-19 disruption in mail services, and so everything was done, but it was just, they were just waiting for the decks to be able to come in. And so I want to say that was probably in April, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. I just remember I pre-ordered this and forgot about it actually for a while, until somebody had just gotten theirs. I was like, oh, I forgot about that. That might be coming. And it showed up today, or actually yesterday. And so I wanted to do a walkthrough of it before I shuffled it. This card came with it, Together We Rise. And it just says, it's a thank you for ordering the Spirit cards and being part of this vision becoming a reality. May they bring you support, inspiration, and empowerment along your journey. Much love. And so yeah, that was very nice. So let's just dive right in. You can see that it comes in a box. There are 4 categories of spirit cards: divine feminine and sacred masculine, natural elements, animal spirits, and dancers and dreamers. The spirit cards were created from the inspired work of John Arthur Mosley. His art is an honoring of the divine feminine, sacred masculine, and a celebration of the beauty, wisdom, and spirit of the animals, plants, and natural elements of this sacred earth. These cards are different from most oracle decks in that they were birthed from the artwork first, and like the paintings, they inspire and activate purely from viewing and meditating on them. Each card is meant to be experienced on a feeling level and in the heart, then allowing for the meaningful insights to arise. The accompanying guidebook has descriptions of the paintings and further insights by the artists. These cards resonate with aspects of ourselves that awaken a remembrance of who and what we truly are and our connection with the sacredness of life. So there are 44 cards in an accompanying book. So yeah, you can see more about these are at www.spiritcardsoracledeck.com. So that's what we have here. The box is pretty decent. It's got like a matte finish, and it's got a you can see that it has kind of a gilded gold. Anything that's in gold has kind of got that gilding on it, which is nice. It is a magnet, which I am a fan of. It's not like a super tightly constructed. It feels like it's going to hold up fine, but it doesn't have, again, it's not mass produced. It doesn't quite have the level of structure feeling to it that like a mass-produced box might feel like, but it seems sturdy. It doesn't seem like it's going to break down or bend or anything like that, so it's nice. The cards do not fit into the deck snugly, meaning there is extra space there. Of course, that is the same with my Blue Angel Oracle deck that I just had opened one. So that isn't anything new. I would prefer there to be, them to fit nice and snug so they don't bang around, especially with gilding on the edges. But that is, again, I think it's a good solid box, and it's beautiful. It also, I didn't know this, but it also came with a bag. It's a very tall bag that these can go into and obviously close up, which is probably good. That's probably why the height is there, because they're not small cards. And once they're in and pulled tight, well, let's just do it. There's no reason not to. It's a beautiful purple. I do love purple. Yeah, so it fits nicely. Truthfully, if it was any shorter, it probably would have gotten really tight onto the bag itself. I love that this has this, sacred geometry here on the front, but it doesn't have any kind of titles to it. It doesn't have the spirit cards or anything. I really appreciate bags that come either blank or with no sort of, I don't want to say marketing, because it's the title of the deck, so it's not a bad thing, it's a personal preference. Because if it's a bag like this and I want to keep it in my sacred space or something like that, I don't really want to have the title of the deck or anything on it. So this to me is perfect. So love it. I didn't know that was with it. I guess I didn't read very closely. And so yeah, nice box and a nice bag. I don't think you could fit them into the bag and then into the box, but we'll try that when it's all done. We'll come back to the cards in a minute. It comes with a guidebook. Again, the paper on the cover is paper. Like, it's not even really cardstock. It's like a paper. It's like a coated paper. So it feels very flimsy, but it's well bound. So, you know, it's like, it's not, again, it's not a mass market, so it's not quite to that mass market level, but it's beautiful. And it just, truthfully, if this paper had been just a little more of an actual cardstock, like, I feel like that could really easily get ripped up just because it's so soft. Of a paper. But, you know, it's got a physical guidebook, and I know, I mean, physical guidebooks add, you know, to the cost, they add to the weight and for shipping and things, and so I think it's a great bonus that it comes with a physical book like this. So no complaints, just pointing it out. So yeah, talks about the basic stuff dedicated to the divine feminine and the sacred masculine. It has the contents. Now the cards, let me look. The cards are numbered, so that's great. That means it's going to be very easy to find it. I'm a huge fan of that. But it does break it down into their suits. So there's a suit of the divine feminine, sacred masculine. I feel like this is a bit of a misnomer because for the most part, these are mostly female. So it definitely, if there had just been more of the sacred masculine, it would have just been perfection. It's not quite, I need to go turn my phone off, I know. There are, we'll look at them more closely in a minute, but there are definitely more divine feminine cards than sacred masculine cards. And I definitely wish that that had been more balanced, as there's a whole section for the two of them. Again, this is just, you know, my personal preference. I love the natural elements. They're absolutely stunning. Love the animal spirits. I believe my wolf and my bear and my ravens are in there. I would have loved a spider to make it perfect, but again, there's tons of animals out there. That I get all three of them is always a bonus and a plus. And then the last section are really actually quite beautiful, and they're more like expressions of energy, like surrender, dance, listen, dream, blossom, flight, emerge. They're like it's like they're images of actions there, and that's quite an interesting thing. It's kind of telling you what to do in a way. So that is a really beautiful, mostly female forms here, but it isn't, I don't think, about male or female. It's just, you know, probably just the artists themselves. So I don't really look at these as feminine cards. They're just expressions of energy, but they are mostly female forms. Now, anyone who's watched my channel very long and seen sort of the decks that I absolutely love is not going to be surprised that I bolted for this deck as soon as I saw it. I don't know how I missed a Kickstarter, although I don't really peruse Kickstarter. I don't generally have the patience. We've talked about this before. I don't generally have the patience to wait for things. I also do like to see all of the cards, and a lot of times they are not finished, and that's not my favorite. So in general, I do get Kickstarter decks, but I don't generally peruse it, and I'm not generally on Kickstarter like looking for decks. This artwork reminds me a lot, and I am not saying this in a comparison way, but it reminds me a lot of Susan Seddon-Boulay. If you know me, you know I love her artwork. She has posthumously, slaughtered that, but you know what I mean. After her death, 2 decks were made, a goddess oracle and an animal oracle deck. I adore them, if only, and I have begged the creators of these 2 decks to, because I have her book on shamans. She has many male character paintings, many, could easily have a gods deck as well, and then that would be, I would stick those all together and it would be perfection. That's my dream of things to happen. But anyways, her artwork just speaks to my soul. Obviously, the artwork of Margaret Peterson in terms of deck speaks to my soul. Color palette wise, it just reminds me a lot of some of the decks that I really love. Maybe not as deep, but it has that energy and that feel of the mystical shaman, which I adore the artwork from. It also feels like the Illuminated Earth Oracle. These are oracles that are on my space all the time, that I use in my personal practice and my personal walk for myself, as well as in those types of readings that are really integral to how I see the world. So this is like kind of a made for me type deck. The one thing I did look is to see that sacred, that masculine feminine, generally that's the problem in terms of these decks, and this certainly has a bit of the same issue. There are a couple masculine cards. Of course, a lot of them are just animals and plants. The bulk of the deck is that, and again, that last set of series, that last suit, to me isn't really about masculine or feminine. It's just about this expression of energy, this action of energy. So those I don't take so much. So it's more this first section. I just wish there were a couple more male cards. However, let's just take a look at it. It's, again, you don't have, these are the things that are important to me. I didn't make the deck, right? And so unless you make your own deck, it's not going to be perfect for you, because it wasn't about me. These were messages that this person was getting. So I don't fault this particular artist, because he's making the deck that is for him, that speaks the messages that he needed to make, and I am all in support of that. This is more my own personal wants, right? So we have quite large cards here. I have actually the Viking Oracle, because I just walked through that and did a reading. It's larger than a Blue Angel deck. So Blue Angel decks are, pretty typical oracle size, and it's slightly wider and a nice little chunk taller. So nice, certainly good size cards there. They are not small. It's a great linen cardstock. I am a big fan of linen cardstock, so it feels like you can really see the texture. I don't know if you can see the texture, but I can see the linen texture, and you can definitely feel it. It's got a very pronounced linen feel to it. It looks really beautiful with the artwork. This type of artwork just looks beautiful on the linen, and so yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I haven't shuffled it yet, but we'll talk about that later. So they're quite large deck, quite a large deck here. I don't even think I finished looking at the guidebook. Well, let's just read the entry for this first one, because that will give you an idea of what we have. So we have a black and white illustration, decent sized, of the card, the number, the title, and then the keywords that are on the card. And then it looks like a message from the card itself, something I do actually quite enjoy. Then a general thing, and then an actual message. So let's just see. I am the power of the feminine in her full glory, goddess of the chosen ones. I am your beckoning, an illumination of the power you hold. For I am within you, as you, representing your full mastery. I call upon you now, sacred one. You are the keeper of great teachings. Open to this now, for I am your destiny and your intuition that is guiding you home. Goddess rising, also called Gaia or Pachamama, I think it's Pachamama. I have another deck with Pachamama in it that I have gotten so many times. It's been quite powerful. Anyways, in some cultures, is the divine feminine in her creative power that sustains life on this earth. She is the fertility goddess who embodies all of creation, whether overseeing plantings and harvests or sending earthquakes and floods to restore balance. She is responsible for nature's harmony. I do like that he talks about planting and harvest, but also earthquakes, quakes, and flood. That is all part of earth, right? Not just the other things. The goddess rising is a powerful reminder to respect and honor all creation as the same life force flows through us all. In this painting, the goddess rising is shown standing in front of the rising sun in a pool of clear water formed from the waterfall that flows from her heart. This water represents the life-giving essence of unconditional love. Her left hand holds her cloak, and this is what I love. This is a beautiful, intricate painting, and he is explaining what are we seeing here and why it might be there. This water represents the life-giving essence of unconditional love, so we know that there. Her left hand holds her cloak open, revealing the panther spirit. So she's pulled her cloak aside on this side, and you can see panther in here, symbol of ferocity and protection, qualities that allow her to be in her femininity and softness without fear. The macaw spirits that we see to her side symbolize being visible and shining her beauty into the world. The irises to her other side signify natural royalty and wisdom. At the center of her crown is a chrysalis, symbol of transformation and birth. Snake spirit coils around her left arm and represents the process of transmutation, perfectly aligning with her sacred form in the sacred geometry of the Shri Yantra, not Shri Yantra. I know I'm slaughtering that. I'm seeing Shrilantra, the place in this. I think it's a SH sound. Sri Rantra? I don't know. You tell me. Signifying the perfect balance of the divine feminine and sacred masculine. Whew, I slaughtered that. The message says, the Goddess Rising card is a message to fully awaken to the remembrance of the sacred being that you are. Even when things are in seeming disarray or upheaval, you are only experiencing the natural forces according to the law of balance. This is the grace of spirit restoring you to wholeness and further aligning you along your path. Stand confidently in your power. Take time to honor and be present with the rhythms of your own body, knowing these rhythms are one and the same with the intelligence, wisdom, and perfection of nature and the sacred goddess rising herself. Aho, goddess rising. So that's what we have here. Now, so that's the Goddess Rising card. Beautiful. I love all of the descriptives of what's in the card and why he put those symbols there. And I can move closer. Let's take it as close as we can. So I love that. This is a beautiful card. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the word shamanista. Like, it feels like a barista or something. I don't know. It doesn't feel as serious. And I know its intention is to be, so it's something I just have to let go of. Now, I did look up the term shamanista, and it does actually seem to be neither masculine or feminine. Now, this does have because he uses the term she here, but this to me is neutral energy. If you look up the term, it is definitely a newer term that's being used in circles where they are working with native energies, and where the term shaman is very specific to these specific cultures and to the way that they assign respect within their culture or their practices. The term shamanista appears to have been used to be more of a modern rendition of the shaman. So not claiming the status of shaman, which may come about through very specific means in a culture. This is a way of working with shaman energy, but much more in an individual transformative way that may be outside any particular culture. Now, if you've seen my animistic and shamanistic style decks, to me the term shaman is a neutral term. It isn't directly specific to one culture, but I think that term obviously came out of a respect for those practices, and so that made me feel a little bit better about it. So whilst this is a picture of a female here, I take this card to be of neutral energy because of the term shamanista being a neutral modern shaman alternative, if that makes sense. But it is about illumination, guidance, and transformation. I am the shape-shifting consciousness. Let's just peek and see if he says the same thing in the painting. Yeah. In this painting, the shamanista's right eye is in light, looking out into the world, and her left is in shadow, looking within. Oh my goodness, I love that. Tiger spirit symbolizes vitality, willpower, and honoring the one's sensuality. Again, we have macaw spirit symbolizing being seen and heard, all qualities that often get overlooked or even shamed in many old paradigm teachings. Keeping watch from the shadows is the black panther spirit. In her right hand, she is holding a crystal wand, a symbol of illumination coming from her higher frequencies. So it's interesting because we have the same energy. Of course, we also have butterflies here for transformation, which are quite beautiful. So we have macaw, we have panther, but we also have then tiger added in here. So it's a beautiful image. I mean, it really speaks powerfully to me. So then we have medicine woman for nurturing, healing, and medicine. Look at these animals in here. I just love this. This painting depicts a Native American medicine woman meditating in a forest with a healing stream running from her heart. See, again, I love the descriptions of water running from the heart. Sitting in a lotus posture surrounded by sacred design motifs from ancient Tibet, she represents the merging of Eastern and Western cultures, traditions, and wisdoms. A medicinal herb held in her right hand represents the healing power that we are gifted from plant energy. An empty bowl rests in her other hand, symbolizing the equal importance of emptiness and receiving. A red-tailed hawk stretching its wings from her brow signifies her connection to inner wisdom and receiving messages from the world of spirit. The mountain lion for leadership and action. The deer for gentleness. That is essential to all healing. She is surrounded and guided by other animal spirits, each with its own medicine and magic. You can see possums here. You can see a fox here. I feel like there's something there, but I can't see it quite well. Almost looks like a mouse here. We have a raven here. We have an owl up here. It's really gorgeous. I mean, absolutely seeing the energy of water, the energy of animal, the energy of plant, the energy of action, but also receiving, active and receptive energy, all of these things, night and day, that all come into balance in terms of healing and medicine. It's absolutely beautiful. So, medicine woman. Here we have Spirit Priestess, sovereignty, emissary, and femininity. It's the embodiment of the sovereign, and this is her, the divine feminine in her role as emissary. She has heard and is answering a deep inner call to walk the path of the priestess. This is not an easy path, but she gathers strength and inspiration knowing she is here not only for herself. This has a feeling, not same cultures, but it has that feeling of a bodhisattva, that idea of coming and making the choice to come as an emissary, giving up the path from spirit and coming back into the world. Again, we have the one open eye and one closed eye, is kind of blended into the foliage there, symbolizing seeing through the eyes of nature, aligned with wisdom. The swan in her headdress is for purity and grace. The jaguar spirit looking over her right shoulder for authority and integrity. She is also blessed with butterfly and plant spirits here. So Spirit Priestess. So we had a spirit priestess, and now we have a spirit warrior. Love, love, love the image. Love the eyes. If you watch these eyes, left eye directly focused ahead, observing all that can be seen, and eagle spear over his right eye, signifying that he is receiving messages from spirit, which he then offers to the world through his action. A hawk feather symbolizing his prayers reaching heaven, a mountain lion for leadership, particularly as it relates to family and tribe. So this is the embodiment of the sacred masculine, committed to his purpose and connected to his heart. So we have that. Looks like a little bit of a ding there, but next we have Sea Priestess, feeling fluidity and immersion. I'm not going to go through, I mean I can't through each one, it will be there forever. But again, what's interesting is we do have the eye seeing through. So clear seeing, but then seeing through hawk or eagle, seeing through the nature and the forest, one looking out, one looking in. Here we have still that here, but we also have a shell over her left ear representing the medicine of listening, and over her right eye is a wave, that healing energy rippling out into the world. So again, I quite love what he's doing there. So then we have the warrioress, devotion, assertiveness, and focus. So this is a mix of the femininity of the goddess, of her soft, intuitive, and receptive energy, and the goal-oriented, driven, externally focused side of the masculine. So it is her assertive role as protector and defender here. And again, we've got butterflies. We have that. I believe we probably have a lotus, or not a lotus, we have hummingbird, we have butterfly. I didn't see hummingbird. Oh yes, there is hummingbird right here. We have an iris, the symbol of awakening consciousness, and so forth, which is really beautiful. So we have the warrioress. We have the divine union between masculine and feminine, intimacy, alchemy, and unity. Again, you can see that we have, I certainly see a lion. Nope, no, I'm wrong. 2 jaguar spirits, lotus blossom blooming from their third eyes. It looks like mostly just jaguar, and not just, but you know what I mean. Absolutely beautiful. So that is a blend. Spirit guardian, protector, defender, and responsibility. This is a gorgeous card as well. The masculine in his role as a protector, defender, and this idea of responsibility. This has the archetype of the totem animal also as well. The spirit guardian is surrounded by his totem animals: wolf, deer, mountain lion, bear, owl, raven, snake, fox, and possum. You can see them all through here. Look at the bear and the wolf, and there is the raven. I don't see snake, but I'm sure it's in there somewhere. You can see fox and possum here. Oh, there's snake down here. Yep, snake down in here. It's really gorgeous. I hope that you can see the gorgeousness of this deck. So that is the first suit. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit before we keep going. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sacred feminines. So the spirit priestess, the medicine woman, goddess rising, warrioress. Anyways, you saw them. There are 5 of the sacred feminine. There are 2 that are purely masculine, And there are two that are what I would call both, because of the divine union and because of the how I decide to work with the idea of the shamanista, as being, again, not my favorite word. Maybe I'll get comfortable with it, but it's the energy of the shaman, in that modern sense, and it's neither masculine or feminine, regardless, there. So that's how I'm kind of choosing to take it. So you definitely have more energy here. Of course, we do think of Mother Earth as Mother Earth, right? And so we have some of those forms there, just in the goddess itself, representing more to be Earth itself. So, however you want to put it, there are a few more of them, but I am glad that we have certainly the union card, and that we have these two really powerful masculine energies. So I definitely wish that there were, a little bit more evenness there. That's always my call, but again, not my deck. And it's beautiful, and it's certainly still a gorgeous deck. And because there's so many earth and air, and you're going to see here so many, let's see what they call the suits. So much of the majority of the deck are natural elements and animal spirits, so that doesn't make the deck feel, and the color palette, the deck to me doesn't feel overwhelmingly feminine, which is nice. So again, nothing wrong with feminine, but I like a little of both. Okay, so moving forward. So Earth, the spirit ones are so beautiful. Earth spirit, grounding, support, and stability. Air spirit, inspiration, breath, spaciousness. Water spirit. Now you can see here that these were all different colors as well. I didn't point that out. We have the title, we have a black border around them all, and then we have the colored border. Could you trim the black border off? Yes. You would be trimming off the gold gilding though. So I'm just going to leave them as they are. So then we have sort of this brown color for earth. We have this light color for air. We have this is so beautiful. The spirit cards remind me, again, not in comparison, but it has that feel of Margaret Peterson's, some of Margaret Peterson's paintings that are just so expressive in movement and color that it just speaks to my soul. Water spirit, sacredness, flow, and grace. Fire spirit, passion, purification, and energy. Wind spirit, circulation, clearing, and impetus, which is interesting because I've been following wind patterns, and so I love that. Gorgeous crystal spirit for vibration, frequency, and acceleration. Plant spirit, interdependence, growth, and restoration. And light spirit, I love this, just looking where the light is and then what that creates, the shadows, and oh, beautiful. Intuition, guidance, and vision. And that is of course, neutral, all neutral energy, because this are the different spirits of light, plant, crystal, wind, fire, water, air, earth, and just beautiful. Of course, divinity is already taken in the first suit. So that's the second suit. The third suit is animal spirit. So this is all animal spirits, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-ish. I could have counted wrong, but 18-ish animal spirits. Wolf spirit, beautiful. Love this elephant. It's one of my favorite images in I have elephant energy on my ancestors' space, and so it just really speaks to me. Community, altruism, and empathy. Black Panther spirit, power, fearlessness, and ferocity. You can see sometimes darker, sometimes lighter, but I don't know if you can see in the camera, but there's a overlay of sacred geometry, I believe, on all of the cards. But it doesn't, for me, it doesn't feel like it interferes in any way. Black Panther. Here we have beautiful deer spirit, awareness, sensitivity, and gentleness. Lion spirit is so powerful looking. Confidence, decisiveness, and leadership. My bears. So gorgeous. Boundaries, introspection, and home. Yes. Jaguar, authority, opportunity, and integrity. Tiger, willpower, instinct, and sensuality. Raven, synchronicity, magic, and rebirth. Yes. Butterfly, lightness, metamorphosis, and renewal. Hummingbird, sweetness, optimism, and joy. Powerful macaw. This almost has a reflective quality to the color. It's just color, but it's just gorgeous. It really is gorgeous in person. Visibility, uniqueness, and ascension. Eagle spirit, insight, perspective, and spirit. Love this owl. Observation, truth, and discernment. Dolphin, connection, harmony, and play. Love the movement here. Love the whale. Depth, stillness, and resonance. Great, great, great keywords. Frog spirit, cleansing, transition, and change. Snake spirit, shedding, transmutation, and integration. And that's the last of the animals. These are just stunning. I mean, there's nothing else to say. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love the keywords. None of the keywords like hit me like, I don't know about that. Like they all felt really great in terms of the keywords. So then the last one is more to me about expression, right? This is about expressing, physically expressing, emotionally expressing. It's in the form of acting out energy. Surrender. I mean, it just looks like surrender. It's stunning. Dance. Spontaneity, movement, fun. Listen, presence, openness, and clarity. Dream. Reflection, allowing, attraction. Blossom, patience, self-love, and beauty. Flight, forgiveness, letting go, and ease. Emerge, breakthrough, rising, expansion. You can just see in the body the shapes that the body's making, but then of course all of the colors that in the way that it's moving off of it. And create, aspiration, expression, and exploration. Oops, no, I thought that was the last one. Sorry. The last one is birth, creation, manifestation, and beginnings. So that is the whole deck. Now, I don't think, let me look here. We should read one of the animals, but let's pull one first. Did I see, were there any spreads using the cards? Not really. Card of the day, shuffle the cards, pull 3 cards. A phase you've just completed represents where you're at right now, and the third represents the medicine you'll need for the future. That's really beautiful. This would definitely be amazing for with and without advice, like a lot of different things. Let me pull out here. I don't think I showed the backs because I was too excited. They're black with like a teal green sacred symbol here, and then a purple sort of lotus pattern around the outside. The same shape that you see on the bag itself. And that you see in, I think, most of the cards. And again, there are different colors. So you basically have, this is a good one to show it. I just shouldn't have straightened it because I thought, oh, that was a good one to be able to see it. But, you know. Here we go. This might be a good one. So you have a black border on the outside. You then have a colored border, whatever color that might be, that goes with the card itself. Then you have a very thin sort of contrasting color, thin border, and then you have the image itself, and then you have the number in a particular color that could be different, but you know, going with the whole overall aesthetics of it. And then you do have that same thin color down below. separating the title from the, so basically the color patterns for each of the cards are to go with the cards themselves, to go with the color energy of each of the cards, and I think it's done beautifully. It doesn't feel disjointed, it doesn't feel jarring. All of these things are in the same places. It's just going, it feels really good. It goes with the cards themselves, so it doesn't feel like you've got too much going on. These are very tall. I am a riffle shuffler. This would probably, I don't even think I could riffle shuffle this way. You can, if that's the problem, you can always corner shuffle. These are a nice linen cardstock, so they should shuffle up well. Now, do as I say, not as I do. If you riffle shuffle gilding, you are going to, eat up the gilding. Depending on the quality of the gilding, it can age really beautifully, like the Fountain Tarot has aged gorgeously despite my riffle shuffling, or it can age not so beautifully. It just depends on the gilding itself. I don't mind my decks to age and get character. That doesn't bother me, but some people that would. So if that's something that would bother you, then by all means do not riffle shuffle gilding. That's just again, do as I say. And this one's a hard one to do anyways. I have long fingers, and it would still be a struggle for me to be able to certainly hand over hand them. The cardstock feels great. I love linen cardstock. I could tell better if I could, let me try to get one like this. Let's split it in half. I don't think I can. We're going to try it. I just want to feel how it bends, because that tells me a lot about the cardstock for my own self. I mean, it feels good. I definitely could not do that very often. That's above my capacity to be able to do. Now, should the gilding get bad, I would just go and cut off the black border. Let's say down the road, because I anticipate using this deck a lot. If there was a problem with that, I would cut this black border off and just go into the color border, and kind of then, color the edges black and have a second life for it down the road. So let's pull this. Represents a phase you've just completed. The second one where you're at right now. And the third one is medicine we'll need for the future. So the light spirit is a phase we are leaving. The center card is a phase in right now. That's certainly applicable for me anyways. Expression, exploration, pushing those boundaries that we can see there. Medicine needed to move forward is to listen. Absolutely beautiful. Coming from the light spirit. So let's see what we see. Go to light spirit. So it has a number on it, which is great. So despite that it's suits, sometimes if you have suits, then it doesn't cross, the numbers aren't as helpful, but this one is in order with the numbers, which I love. Become more keenly aware of your intuition, to trust and follow its guidance. The lighter you are within, the more access you have to this guidance. We're coming from a time in which we really had to listen to our instincts, really had to listen outward. And now we're in a place in which that forward pressing and that exploration, and that it's almost has, it's not the birth one, but it has that feeling of just pushing, right? Just kind of pushing those boundaries and really having that expression, which makes sense there. But we're moving into a space in which we simply need to listen. So that's quite beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There is like a white dot. I don't want to scratch at it. There's a little like a white dot in that black. I haven't noticed that on anything else. But yeah, I mean, that you could easily just put a black marker to. I may just scratch off, and I just haven't, you know, given the power to scratch it. So yeah, there you go. I just wanted to, I wanted to do the quick walkthrough from it while they were in order, so that I can just get working with this, put it down on my shelf for a while, and do some work with it, because it is just beautiful and really does speak to my soul on so many levels. So thank you for spending some time looking. Oh, listen again. We need to listen. Plant spirit, interdependence and growth, and earth spirit. Oh, they're beautiful. Again, I think this would be really powerful as a single card pull to sit with, but I do think it's going to do real well in these types of 3 cards as well. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I wish you much joy, and we'll see you the next time around.